Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Look, it's not a coincidence when you see that, someone like Dick Morris, when the story comes out, he's running this elaborate scam where he's getting people to give money to his super PAC, so his super PAC can basically pay him, to go through Newsmax and send to get his email list. Rick Perlstein wrote a great piece on this for the Baffler about how it's all a scam. The same people that are sitting there saying, hey, that looks like a great idea, $1 million from Nigeria, and all I have to do is give my bank account, or saying, really, this new cream that I just rub on my chest and it cures cancer. I mean, these are the things that Newsmax and Town Hall and these places send out, and it's the same people who are fearful, who are scared that maybe they're not attractive enough, maybe they're not smart enough, maybe they're going to get sick, maybe and that's basically, we're going to look back at this period in history in 30 years and have historians talking about how the scam movements combined with conservatism to prey, frankly, on the same more elderly, less educated people in our society.
I want to ask you about some of the proposals in general, because you've been involved in the gun issue for a long time. The president seemed to go for it in a way that a lot of people were surprised by, putting his presidency on not only the assault weapons ban, not only sort of closing the gun show loophole, armor-piercing bullets, background checks, on and on and on.
Yep.
Were you surprised? Were you pleasantly surprised? What do you make of it?
I was pleasantly surprised. And as someone who's criticized President Obama sometimes on issues like Social Security, where I feel like he's not stood up and drawn a line in the sand, he deserves a lot of credit. It's actually rather amazing. This is easily the most sweeping reforms since the Gun Control Act of 1968. Again, as we point out, when he brings in the Consumer Product Safety Division, when he brings in armor-piercing bullets, things that I didn't even expect to be a part of this. The core elements are important, obviously, too. We need universal background checks. That's obvious. And the high-capacity magazines, along with the assault weapons, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care what your gun looks like. It just shouldn't be able to fire any more than 10 bullets. And if we can get that done through either or both of those measures, that will just be really huge. People need to remember Jared Loughner had 31 bullets. And if someone had been able to wrestle him down after the 10th bullet, because that's what they did, they wrestled him down when he was reloading, think of the difference in the carnage there. We're not saying we can stop all of this, but we are saying that we can stop a lot of it. And another little known thing, because the right's always clamoring about mental health now, that's to get you away from guns. Meanwhile, they're cutting mental health whenever they have the opportunity, making mental health parity a part of Medicaid, where people will now, that was another part of the executive order in there. That is enormous too, because mental health does play a role in this, and we should we should do what we can to make mental health, to improve mental health to the point where, our facilities, I think, should be palaces, frankly. With what we spend on defense, we should spend that on our people, but we shouldn't do that to the exclusion of the gun measures.
The way this is going to play out in Congress is that the House has already said they're going to wait and see what the Senate does. The Senate has scheduled hearings for, I believe, in the next 2 weeks. Senator Patrick Leahy from Vermont has already scheduled a round of hearings. There's the expectation that the Senate will take these issues up one at a time.
Yep.
Which of these issues do you think have the best chance of getting through? Where will the really tough fights be?
I think there's going to be a tougher fight on assault weapons, because those are designer guns that make a lot of guys who like wearing fatigues out in the countryside feel like real men. And the gun manufacturers make a lot of money off of those. But as I said, I think background checks, you almost hear no Democrats, and certainly even some Republicans coming with us on background checks. You don't hear them saying, oh, that's not important at all. And if they pass, not that I don't want an assault weapons ban, but if they were to pass a magazine ban that included assault weapons to say you can't fire any more than 10 bullets, then I don't care what you fire that from if you're limited to 10 bullets. So if just the design of it makes all these guys feel like they're big and tough and they want to go buy them, but we can limit the amount of carnage, I think those two measures have a very good chance. But I'm going to start naming names on this show. You may have seen a great ad that came out on John Barrow this week, where the Coalition Stop Gun Violence hit him, an A+ rated Democrat in the House who bragged about his guns on his ad, on his commercial, and they went after him to point out, interspersed his ad that he had made, cocking his guns and all that with some of the carnage of Newtown. And they went after Heidi Heitkamp the week before. So we need to start naming names, and I hate to have to do this because I think he's been great on some other issues, but the first person we have to talk about is Harry Reid. We need Harry Reid on this. I mean, he's been popular among the NRA crowd in the past. Nevada is in the top 5 in terms of gun murders in the country. He should answer for that and realize he's not helping his constituents if he doesn't stand up for it. He's not helping the rest of us. I don't care about his B rating from the NRA. They didn't endorse him when he ran against Sharon Angle. I don't think they endorsed either of them. But, he's towards the twilight of his career. Let's stand up and save some lives. And whether it's him or Mark Begich in Alaska, if you allow me to, I'm going to start naming names and handing out phone numbers to people when I come on this show.
You're absolutely welcome to do that. And Harry Reid, it was noteworthy that he was muted in his response this week. That he was asked on a local television station in Las Vegas, will it get through? He said probably not. He said it will probably get through the House. It may get through the Senate, but it won't get through the House.
That's right.
And he said that he would therefore only bring up legislation that he thought had a reasonable chance in the House. So it sort of felt like his way of watering things down right from the start.
That's that Washington game where you set the expectations. Well, I won't support that because it can't pass, as opposed to it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you do that, instead, I want Harry Reid, the old boxer who was going after hitting Romney left and right during the campaign. I want him up fighting for this. I want him and I want others. And so there's some of these guys who we're going to have to shame in doing the right thing. And obviously, the game has changed because there's a lot of people on the left now that have money flowing in because so many people are horrified by this. States, Connecticut, Massachusetts, some more liberal states, but Virginia and Colorado have proposed strengthening gun regulations that are more pro-gun states that are sort of, you call them swing states. So that wasn't happening for a while in those state legislatures. So the calculus has changed. And there's money coming in on the other side. And frankly, as we all know, there's some people on the other side on the gun control side have a lot of money to counter the NRA. So let's see what happens.
Coming up, we're going to talk with Cliff Schecter about somebody on the right who has a lot of influence still, Rush Limbaugh. And you won't believe what Rush Limbaugh said about Democrats and the Democratic capacity for honest debate. Or maybe you will believe what Rush Limbaugh said. Who knows? Take Action News continues after this.